Couple years back, travelling without much of a plan, I ended up in India in this kind of yuppie ashram. And in the communal area, I met this plucky young man with the Upper West Side accent of a rich Uncle Sam. I asked him his name and he explained with great stress. Well, my passport says Brandon, but my yogi name is Hesh. Part of a low-key kind of effort to redress some of the opulent habits of my old life back in the West, where income is the only way you're assessed. Though, if you do use that measure, fair to say I was something of a success. Though uninvited, his story progressed. It's been somewhat of a spiritual quest, finding myself closely enmeshed with the simple people of Rishikesh. # richly blessed. He was performative in everything that he said, eagerly looking around the room for reactions like it was his screen test. And then he put his book down with deliberate finesse, and though I didn't ask, he said, "That's right, infinite jest." Then he waited, I assume, for praise of his intellectual prowess before putting hands behind his head for an indulgent stretch and subtly trying to flex his chest. Oh yes, I've really learned from these simple people the joys of living with less. I eyed the MacBook and Apple Watch he possessed, the Lululemon clothes in which he was dressed, the many dishes of food on his table ordered to excess, and said, oh yes, this aesthetic existence must be quite the test. He immediately described himself as an old soul, and I don't want to be blunt, but anybody who does that is invariably an utter You know, it's just weird to lead with that up front, because you know who doesn't need to say they're an old soul is an old soul, and in this a-hole's case, I was less than sold. He spoke with authority on the Hindu tradition. He said he wasn't religious, but of a spiritual disposition. I said, what specifically is your philosophical idea? Oh, my dear. You're only listening with your ears, and as such you're not ready to hear. You need to be open here. And here. When you've been here, as long as I've been here, it'll become clear. Then he sat back, proud and pious, while I considered the occasional merits of violence and inquired whether this place ever does one of those vows of silence. And I shit you not, this is literally true. He ran off and came back with a didgeridoo, because in vibration lies truth, which did little to improve my withering mood. I thought nothing anymore could surprise me about this dude when I spied this white boy sporting a Still I Rise tattoo. Badge of honour to the adversity he's been through. He's seen shit. True. Still I shrugged and said, do you like Maya Angelou? And he said, Maya who? At which point I was like, fuck this dude.